The book review that I will be covering today is by Dr. Shefali Tsabary, The Awakened Family. And I find that a lot of people, this is a new concept for the family, um, especially those who are interested in spiritual growth. So Dr. Shefali says that connectivity with your children starts with the parents' growth. Okay, so I'm a big believer of this. I have been practicing something that came out of this book, which is a daily conscious parenting practice that I will share with you later. This book covers all the pillars of conscious parenting, and I will be covering those with you. I am reviewing the audiobook. I've also read it in its hardbook edition, and I was interested of just refreshing my memory, and so I got this on audio CD, and I've been listening to it in my car. And if you're interested in expanding your knowledge and you feel that you would like to try audiobooks, I find that they're very um, good for travel. And what I also liked about it is that whoever steps into your car, they'll ask, like, what are you listening to? And so then they can be also enlightened. And I know a lot of people do travel long distances to their work, and they're just brewing negativity to and from. So an option for that would be to just put in an audiobook and grow your awareness. Okay, so Dr. Shefali says that awareness is the bed of transformation. So you cannot change anything that you're not aware of. And so the basic practices that she teaches are for conscious parenting is, for example, I get this a lot. Parents are wondering, what do I do with my child when they're crying at the grocery store? And like, how do I react to that? What would be the conscious parenting approach? And so what I would say to that person is to check in with themselves. Are they hungry? Are they thirsty? Are they tired? This is not in regards to the children. This is in regard to the parent. And once they are clear with how they feel, then they can address the child from this place of what, of curiosity, of what is the desire? What do they want? You can drop down to their level, start to whisper, stay in that calm centered place. And also they might be just hungry, thirsty, or sleepy. And when we are like that, we are um, angry when we haven't been sleeping enough. So a lot of these practices for me looks like self-care for the parent, and then from that allows me to not react to my child or whatever behavior they're exhibiting, and to change my approach. Okay, and if they're making a tantrum and they're really loud, you can tell them, I can see you're really mad right now. Wow, you look really angry right now. I would be really angry too. You want that toy, right? Yeah, you want that toy, and that's why you're screaming. Oh, I totally get it. Yeah. And how can we get that toy next time? How can we work in the future to get that toy? Let's brainstorm. Maybe they need to start saving, and you can introduce that savings, that money is required for that interaction, and then they'll pick it themselves up, and then you just gently, you know, exit the store, and then with more time, talk about it. So one of the first things that I ask myself is, what is in your awareness? And just sit with that a moment. What is in your awareness? And it's so amazing, the revelation that comes next. For me, it was discovering that I had a seed of anger in my heart. And whenever my child would misbehave, I would recall an experience when I was a child with my parents, and with specifically my father. I would feel desperation, frustration, and anger. And it took me about 10 weeks of counseling for me to deal with that seed of anger that was in my heart, because that was my initial reaction, and I had to change that. I had to interrupt that pattern and change that. And then also modeling it and just create it consistently. I won't say that I'm not angry anymore. It's an emotion that is meant to be felt, but it's no longer manifested in hitting or yelling or slamming the door or any behavior that I was reprimanding my child for. That was the same behavior that I ended up just mirroring and just doing back to her. So something very interesting to consider. What is inner awareness? Spending time in reflection, getting a journal, and really making this your mission to just get really clear on what is in your awareness. Maybe for you, it's a limiting belief of how parent and child interactions are. We are in new times. Maybe you are um, acting from an old paradigm where the children is quiet and obeys. But is that really who you want your child to be? Just somebody who obeys, or somebody who has their own mind and can negotiate and can get their desires met and also compromise with another person? So there's a lot of layers to conscious parenting, but I'm so glad that you're here with me. I'll describe the next one then as a next pillar for conscious parenting. The first one was awareness, and the second one is non-reaction. That one is hard. And you know what? I know Dr. Shefali wouldn't agree on this, but for me, it has helped. I've gotten a rubber band, and whenever I react, I snap my rubber band, and then I drop to my knees and I say, God, please help me. And then I remember, oh yeah, whisper. Oh yeah, just breathe. It's okay. They're kids. They're learning. They love you more than anybody in this world, and you're here just to teach them, to upbring them. And then I would calm myself down. This is very rigorous. I also recommend doing it once a week. I usually do it on Tuesdays, where I really focus on non-reaction. And what you'll notice if you practice this is that any interaction, negative interaction that you're having with your child, will be counteracted. It will be balanced out. And Dr. Shefali explains it in her book as the antidotal remedy. If somebody's angry and you match it with angry, it's just going to escalate. They're going to hit you in the face. You're going to hit them in the face. So always do the opposite emotion of them. So if they're scared, you step into courage. If they're angry, you step into centered calmness. If they're if they have anxiety, you step into confidence. Okay, thank you. The third pillar of conscious parenting is feelings, owning your feelings. And for this, I recommend keeping a journal. How do you feel? And check in every so often. How do you feel right now? What is real and true for you right now? Because a lot of things we're projecting. A lot of times we're projecting onto our children, onto our spouse, onto our neighbors, and that's not healthy. Okay, you're by doing this, you're stepping outside of the victim mindset, and you're owning who you are. You're owning your feelings. What I really recommend for this exercise as well is for you to use I statements. I feel this way. And what really helped me was to say that I choose to be mad right now. And once I did that, that would snap and interrupt the pattern. Why would I choose to be mad? No, I choose to be calm. I choose to be brave. I choose to be firm. And from that place, I go forward. Okay, so just owning your feelings. So we talked about awareness, non-reaction, and feelings. And Thursday, this is the monumental thing for conscious parenting. You heard a lot, perhaps, of consciousness, but not so much combined with parenting. Consciousness is stillness. It's presence. It's accepting the as is of any situation and any person, not trying to change anything. Entering this present moment, just as you are, just as your child is. Exactly like that. Breathing. A lot of times we have expectations. What will others say? What do I expect my child? And then that really can have side effects on their mentality. They start thinking, I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Okay, so this has detrimental impact on your children. But once you're able to bring in that presence and that acceptance of who they are, you build them up from the ground up. So you can restore any relationship and start any time. Of course, the earlier the better, but you can start whenever. The next pillar pillar is play, and this is my favorite one. How many times do you play with your children? Usually we do play when they're 5 years or younger, but then we don't play with them anymore. And the thing is, that children's play is their sacred work that they're here in that age to do. And it's really important to allow that space. And it could look like throwing a ball with them. It could look like playing some board game. It could be going outside, going to the park, dancing with them. It's about asking them and getting to know what are their interests. What do they want to do? And I challenge you to spend 30 minutes today and just play with your child. It will transform your relationship. Beautiful. And the golden principle of Dr. Shefali really emphasizes is connection. Okay, connection with yourself first. So she really recommends a meditation practice where you calm and quiet your mind and allow your thoughts to pass slowly and to really deepen into a consciousness, into a stillness where it's like the deepening of an ocean, just very subtle, very, very calm. And it allows you to really, this is a journey about transformation. It is for the parent. So you decide what you, um, how are you going to operate? How are you going to interact and engage and connect with your child? So this is really, really important for you to connect and for you to practice. Something that I do with my children and Dr. Shefali recommends is role playing. So we role play. And for example, I work from home, and she barged into my office one day, and I said, let's practice that again. And you can be mommy, and I can be you. Or sometimes I'll ask her, you want to be mommy or you want to be you? And sometimes she'll choose mommy, and sometimes she'll choose to be her. And then we'll act it out the way it was, like yelling and screaming, stomping and rushing in here when I'm doing a video, or it's and then we change it up, knocking calmly. Yes, come in. And then I embrace her and I say, oh, thank you for visiting me in my office hours, and make clear. That's something with Dr. Shefali. A lot of parenting and our struggles that we face as parents comes down to boundaries. And I'm not going to go into detail here, but basically boundaries are either set in stone or set in the sand. And I really recommend you to get this book so you can really understand that, because a lot of the times the conflicts that we're creating with our children are because we're tipsy-turvy. We are flip-flopping on them all the time. So they know this. So it has to do with your own boundaries, your own, like, even like self-respect and consistency for you to be your word. Like, that's really important. That's what they're really trying to prove, if you're going to be your word or not. And sometimes, when you speak in that different tone and kind of affirmative, not harsher, but just firmer, look on your face, and also your the tone of your voice, they will know when it's a changing of a boundary. But the book has so many tools for you, and I'm just wanted to jump in here and to share. The last one that she has is, I think, oh, okay, it's play. Did I say play? Yes. Practice and presence and meditation. Okay, and if you have never done this before, just stop for a minute and breathe. Eyes open or eye closed. Keep breathing. If you think this is weird, just keep breathing. Don't go into the stories, just breathe. Beautiful. Thank you for doing that with me. You are courageous and you are on your way. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on your journey to pick and choose your battles, and to choose every day to be an enlightened being and to pass this to your children. So I hope that you're able to just raise your consciousness with watching this video, and for sure pick up her book. You will find it very, 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 very helpful. And she's even online as well. So I also follow her online. And Dr. Shefali, she speaks very easy to understand. So I follow her all the time. And I'll end with a quote here by Dr. Shefali. And it's, focus on who your child is, not what they do, by Dr. Shefali. Just think about that for a moment. Focus on who your child is today, not what they do. I would love to jab on this with you more, but I hope that you found this video to be helpful. And thank you for watching.